What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we're talking about the Galaxy Note 8, a much anticipated arrival over what happened last year, but we're not going to get into that. But this is a great phone, so let me tell you more about it. Now, I'm not going to bore you with lengthy specs, but in case you're curious, there's a Snapdragon 835, 6GB of RAM, and a 3300 mAh battery, which we will get into detail on more in a little bit. But the design here, well, it's mostly the same as we saw with the Note 7, and it continues the design language around the front that we saw with the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. So I really do like the all glass design with the metal frame. It just screams premium. It feels really good in the hand. And I think the Note this year, having this new display size ratio is actually very nice. It makes it much more one-handable. I like how slim this phone is, from a front-facing perspective, and this beautiful 6.3-inch AMOLED display looks absolutely amazing, but damn do I wish they paired it with stereo speakers around the front. So yes, the build quality here is great. It feels like a great phone, but let me tell you, the glass back on this guy gets printy like no one's business, and I definitely recommend throwing on a D-brand skin like I have here. This Black Dragon skin is completely awesome, and I'll be sure to link some skins below for you if you want to grab one for yourself. Now, of course, around the back, we do have the fingerprint sensor, as you're probably aware of, and it works pretty good. You just set your finger on there and the phone unlocks, but I actually do like the facial recognition feature. It's pretty easy because literally you can just hold your phone up, you can look at it, and the thing will unlock right away for you, and that is a very big convenience factor and something that a lot of people have been iffy about, especially in recent days here, if you know what I'm talking about, but this thing works pretty good. Now, a big standout feature with the Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, and now the Note 8 is Bixby. And to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of using Bixby. It's just not for me. And there are a lot of cool things that you can do with it, but I don't know, I just can't get used to the whole Bixby thing. And the fact that we have a dedicated button here on the side kind of annoys me. And Samsung actually just released an update that allows you to completely disable this button, so no matter how many times I press it, it doesn't launch Bixby, or at least Bixby Home. I can hold it to actually launch the Bixby voice assistant, which is great, but I like that we can have this disabled. Now, unfortunately, when you disable that button, it becomes completely useless. It's just a button that does nothing on the side, and I don't know why we can't reassign it. I think that's completely ridiculous. But I will say that the new Bixby quick commands are pretty cool. So how this works is you basically set up a macro that will allow you to launch different things or do different things at once when you say a specific word into Bixby. But in my testing, it's kind of slow. Like, it goes through each task one by one, and it just takes a really long time to complete, more than I'm comfortable using that feature with. Now let's go ahead and jump into camera before we talk about software, because I know a lot of people are curious about these dual 12 megapixel sensors on the back. Now, one of them is your standard camera, and then the second one is actually a 2x telephoto lens, which works with a pretty cool feature called live focus. Live focus is essentially a feature that will allow you to blur out the background behind your subject. And actually, Samsung did something like this with the Galaxy S5 a long time ago called selective focus, but it was absolute garbage. It really didn't work that well. With live focus, this thing is fire. Like, it works really good. The pictures look nice. I'm a big fan of the live focus mode, though I probably would have preferred to have a wide angle lens on this phone instead of a 2x telephoto lens, but that's another video for another day. But anyway, the photos that come off of the Galaxy Note 8 are exactly what you would expect from Samsung. They do great with their cameras, and these photos tell the entire story here. I'm a big fan of this camera. It's definitely my go-to right now as far as taking pictures goes, because it's just absolutely phenomenal. I can't say enough great things about this camera. It is excellent in basically all forms of lighting, and I like that we have optical image stabilization on both of these sensors. But if you want to find out more of the nitty-gritty details and specs about the camera, I will leave a link below for you. As far as the front-facing camera goes, well, it's an 8 megapixel shooter. If you like selfies, it'll do good at that. So obviously, being a Note, you're gonna have the S Pen, which just pulls out right from the bottom here. And if you're familiar with the Note lineup, you are certainly familiar with the S Pen, because they are synonymous with each other. You don't get a Note unless you plan on using the S Pen, or you just really prefer this giant display right here. But this is a key factor to the Note 8. Now, I'm not gonna get into every single S Pen feature here, but I will tell you that one of my favorites is Live Message. And they showed this off in the keynote, and what this allows you to do is draw animated messages to your friends. So anything that you draw in the Live Message mode will actually reanimate itself as you drew it to the person you send it to. So it's a pretty cool feature. You know, it's kind of a novelty. It might wear off after a little while, but I do appreciate the fun aspect with the S Pen, so it's not just business all the time. Overall though, not much has changed as far as S Pen stuff goes when you compare it to the Note 7, which we all had a brief amount of time with. So pretty good stuff here. It works as it's supposed to work, and I have zero complaints with that. It's just a matter of whether or not you're going to actually use it. Though if you want a pretty detailed, in-depth look at everything the S Pen has to offer, I will be sure to link my buddy Mike, the DetroitBorg's video, down in the description for you. Alright, so let's talk about battery life, right? So this guy packs a 3300 milliamp hour battery, and a lot of people were sour about that because, well, it is less capacity of a battery than the previous iteration and even the Galaxy S8 Plus. And in my experience, well, the battery life kind of speaks to that. I mean, I've been able to get a maximum of 3.5 to 4 hours of screen on time with this guy, and that's absolutely stretching it. I'm obviously running the full QHD Plus resolution here, but even when I bumped it down to full HD, I didn't see that big of a difference, at least not big enough of a difference to make me want to run full HD all the time on this guy. So battery life is okay, but you know, we do have fast wireless charging, we do have fast charging via the USB Type-C port at the bottom, and so all that stuff is good and dandy. But you know, overall, it's just been okay in my opinion, and I am using it on the T-Mobile network, so maybe that makes a difference for you. Your mileage may vary, but this is my experience. Other tidbits of information, I do like the fact that we have 64 gigabytes of onboard storage, but what's crazy is I have a 256 gigabyte micro SD card inside of this, which is absolutely insane to think that this phone is packing that much heat on the storage front. I know I mentioned the display before, but this is an absolutely beautiful display. I'm always a big fan of the Samsung stuff in that respect. They've done a great job with the Note 8, and I can't really say that you shouldn't buy it, other than the fact that if you're gonna buy it outright, it's probably going to cost you upwards of $1,000, somewhere between $930 to $970. I guess it depends on where you're getting this from. It's an expensive phone, but it's a great phone, and I'm torn on recommending it. You know, it's pricey, but it's awesome. So that's gonna be a decision you're gonna have to make. But let me know what you think about the Galaxy Note 8 in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This is Dom, and I'll catch you in the next video.